Mitch, you kind of touched on it a few minutes ago, but it's widely believed that 3x3 is a lot more physical than a 5-on-5 game. And being that you have traveled internationally playing in these tournaments, how true is that?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a different style of basketball, you know? You hear a lot of people talk about, like, "Oh, players now wouldn't be able to play back then because of the hand checking and the whatever." Like, we kind of play that now,
Right.
with 3x3. I mean, it's, the courts the courts helps a little bit, like, you're not as springy off of, like, your off the dribble stuff,
Yeah.
so that's something that does hinder it a little bit, but there's guys you think like, "Oh, I'll be able to go by him," but it's, 2 hands moving with you, ball screens, you can push a little more, rebounds, you can push a little more, but I think, like, the sport of 3x3 allows for that to happen, not like now that, like, the officials are like, "We're just gonna let him be physical today." I think, when you get to 7 fouls, you're shooting free throws, and as someone trying to sell the product, you don't want guys on the free throw line ending games all the time. Because if they called every foul, both teams could be shooting free throws at 6 minutes ago, and then we're just sitting there shooting free throws till someone
Just
has.
like NBA, yeah, just, yeah, same thing, yeah.
Yeah, right. And I mean,
They call
there's
every foul.
yeah, right. And I mean, that's like why the Thunder and like now the Pistons are, they're a little more physical because you can't call everything. But in 3x3, like, there's some teams like Antwerp this year. They
Mm.
were RIFA in the past. That they're a team that will come out, and if you're not ready, they'll push you around, and Vienna will push you around. And if you're not ready to go, it's like, whoa, like I'm getting fouled, but like it's no, you need to be ready to be physical back, otherwise you're gonna get beat.
And this is why I think a lot of NBA players, if they were able to play 3x3, I think they'd struggle in this department because I know that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you can't talk to the ref, right? Like not, especially not the way they do in NBA. I've read that.
Yeah.
I've read that one, like you say one thing and it's a tech. And also I see like just, it's just, they allow them to be more physical. They allow certain teams to be more physical. Uh, I don't want to call NBA players today soft, but I mean, they, they do complain a lot, with being touched or they flop or, what I'm saying? And that just doesn't, that can't happen in 3x3.
Yeah, and I think that's why Jimmer was so great at 3x3 because
Mhm.
like
Knows.
he dropped his ego. No, I didn't know him before. I didn't know if he even had an ego about him, but I never once thought like, "Oh, this guy is a selfish prick on the court." Like he was able to like understand it's a different sport or it's played differently. You just have to go roll with the punches of the sport and find a way to get better at 3x3 and not try to be like, well, I can yell at the ref here and I'm able to do this on a 5-on-5 court. Why can't I do it here? And that's why you'll see guys not have success. Like they'll play a couple tournaments and they'll realize like this really isn't. They'll say this isn't basketball. This isn't. You guys are just fouling us, and it's like, well, like no, it's the sport. Like
Yeah.
you need to kind of learn that like
It's
just
a
drop
different
the
sport.
ego for a little bit and realize that like I'm gonna get pushed around and or I have to do the pushing back. And if they call a foul, okay, I have to adjust. Um, so I think that that's major in the sport.
So I assume those teams that only made a couple of grand in the last 3 months, 4 months, I assume physicality is something that you're going to be dealing with extra with those guys, right?
Yeah, yeah, and even teams that
Wait, you pay attention to the records and like so when you go into practice or you guys discuss like the teams that you're playing against, you say, hey, these guys haven't won in a minute, so they're probably going to be a little bit more physical. Let's be ready for this team, or
yeah,
how does
I
that
mean,
work?
like we all love to watch the sport, and every major tournament is on. We're watching. I mean, there was 2 preseason tournaments a couple weeks ago in Thailand, and we're
Hmm.
texting each other about it.
Awesome.
But like we watch and we know like okay, this team hasn't been playing well lately. Like they're gonna try and punch us in the mouth to start. Like we have to practice with a little more intensity. Um, because and I mean like Dylan has been around the block. He played in the
Mhm.
Olympics. Henry has been now on 2 different teams, and me and James have played with each other, for 4 out of our 5 years. Like we kind of know that like if we're not watching the games and talking about it, then like that's when we get beat because we're not taking the team seriously, or not that we think we're better, but like okay, like we're gonna beat them on offense today, and they come ready to go and we're not ready. I think you have to be aware of every team's situations, otherwise you'll get beat.